We had an interesting trip a few nights ago. We went to southern Alberta into the mountains in the Blairmore area. We arrived getting close to dark, so we were being pressed by time for darkness. And we were circling the location where the crew were to meet us. And while circling, we realized the patient wasn't actually there. So by talking to the crew over the radios that were on the ground preparing the site, we realized that the patient was 7 or 8 miles further south, and they didn't know how long it was going to take for the patient to get there. They didn't feel there was a good landing spot. So we asked them how to get there, and they said, well, just follow the valley, pick up the creek, hang a right, go west, look for a trail that's heading south, and take that. We did it. The mountains were quite high there, and they were quite close together and creating a valley. It was pretty tight, actually, making our turns. We actually had to extend further out in order to get turned around to come back again. And as we traveled down the path, the trail that we believed they were on, sure enough, in about 4 miles, we found them. They felt there was nowhere to land, but we just happened to notice a spot that was kind of the intersection of two trails, and we thought it was large enough to get into. So we extended our downwind, turned around, came back into wind, and got set up for the approach, and we landed in that spot. It took a few tries to find a place that was level enough to put the skids down. The terrain was quite steep, and the pictures that you're looking at now don't really convey just how steep it was. But in the one photograph where you see one of the pilots above the helicopter, that might give you an impression of how steep it was to land in there. With 5 crew people on board and the patient, that aircraft just came out of there like it was meant to. So we were appreciative of our aircraft at that time. And it was a good trip. We managed to get out of there before darkness, which was part of the problem. We probably would have had to abort it if we had waited for the patient to get to the first location. It was just too far away for them to get there before darkness. And so it worked out very well. From what I've heard afterwards, it worked out very well for the patient.